Hi guys, my name is Michael Kumar. I am a 35-year-old freelance musician from London. My hair loss started when I was about 24, and I remember just sitting at work one day. I used to work in an office, and back then I was still playing music, so my hair was very much my pride and my joy. I had a lovely long hair with bangs and all this kind of stuff, and I remember I was sitting at work one day running my fingers through my hair, and all of a sudden loads of clumps were on it, and that was the first time that I'd noticed that, I might actually be losing my hair here. And as a result of that, my confidence took a nosedive, actually, because that happened. Because obviously you don't expect that kind of thing to happen. You know, at that point, my hair was pretty much a big part of my identity. It's what people always used to comment on. So obviously when I started losing it, that was obviously me losing and shedding a part of my identity. So as you can imagine, it's a shock to the system, quite literally. So I first started looking at hair transplants. I started losing my hair roughly around 2014. I started looking at hair transplants roughly around 2020 or 2019, I think it must have been. I think it was 2019. And I actually got a hair transplant done in London. I got that one done on the crown, but the operation I actually was left I was not satisfied with what they did. And I felt that they could have done a little bit more. So this is when I decided to start looking at other options as well. So yeah, the main reason why I wanted to get a hair transplant was because I wanted that part of myself to return. I loved having hair, and not having it was not an option for me. Some people decide that they want to go bald. It just wasn't an option for me. So that's why I was gonna obviously go and always do that in the end. And yeah, I'm really happy I did. Smile Hair Clinic is a I actually first heard about Smile Hair Clinic through, I think it was Mike Magic or something his name is a YouTuber, and I decided to look at different options. And this is obviously when I went for the second hair transplant, and I found obviously Smile Hair Clinic, and I saw their befores and afters, and I thought they had a really impressive social media presence. The befores and afters were immaculate. They were really good. The doctors are well informed, very good social media presence. This is the kind of thing that you want when it comes to finding a place that does hair transplants, because obviously the proof is all there, it's all transparent. So this is why I chose Smile Hair Clinic. So my experience on the day of surgery was actually, it was phenomenal. It was great. I felt so comfortable during the procedure. I fell asleep, and I fell asleep not just once, about 2, 3, 4 times. The medical team's support and communication was very good. I was constantly being asked, are you okay? Is everything all right? If you need anything, just let me know. So they definitely went beyond, if I had any expectations from the previous surgery, which I didn't, but if I would have had any, they went beyond that. So the first few days after the operation were absolutely just fine. Going back from the previous operation I had, I noticed that there wasn't as much scabs had been formed. The operation itself, it was done very clean. It was the way they put the grafts in was a lot more organized. It looked a lot more professionally done, and that's what I was very impressed with. So as a result of that, there isn't much need for healing as per se, because if the operation is done very clean and very organized, then the healing process is actually going to be pretty smooth, actually. And I didn't have that many scabs form. Shot gloss. That is it can be quite a traumatizing thing for quite a lot of people, but understand that is because you've been under a quite intense operation. You consider, right, impacts, of course shot gloss will occur. And this, in every single operation I've had so far, the shot gloss, it's been where the hairs have come back and they're a little bit more fine. And then it depends on obviously how good you take care of yourself, because for me, everything returned, within about 7 or 8 months. And this is why, by the way, I say it's a hugely important thing. don't complain if you haven't, you know, when you start seeing things within the first sort of 2, 3, 4 months. You've got to give it time. And I always did this with any surgery I went into. It was like, okay, I wanted to give it at least about 8, 9, 10 months before I started properly judging it. So the shock loss I experienced, it was all the hairs came back, they were really fine, and then they came back. I remember this goes for both of the areas, both of the the donor area and the recipient area. The hairs will come back. So there's a few elements of shock loss. Obviously, you'll have the shock loss around here where they took the hair out of, and that lasts for about, some people returns back within 3 months, 4 months. For me, it was about 6 or 7 months. The actual shock loss at the top here, so your hairs will start obviously forming, you'll start noticing gradually they push through, and then within the first month, when you do the wash, they start coming out, and that's what happens. So you will notice the hairs, they sort of just poke through, and then they just disappear, you know. And then it's about waiting for the actual finer hair, the proper hair, to come through, and that can take, so you're looking at your full results between 12 and 18 months, because even after that 12 months, hairs are still thickening up and doing their thing. But that's why I say you've got to give it time before making a properly informed decision about how your hair transplant went. Honestly, my gut instinct was right. Going to Smile Hair Clinic was by far the best decision that I made. And yeah, it's definitely changed my life. You can see, right, how well it looks. Nobody would have even been able to tell that I've had a hair transplant, so this was absolutely the right decision. So do your research, is what I say always. But Smile Hair Clinic is definitely one of the main ones in Turkey that I would, or anywhere to be honest, you know. Big social media presence, befores and afters, you know. You got interviews with the doctors, you know, and the communication was very easy. There's no hidden stuff. Everything's transparent and visible. You know, absolutely. I would definitely recommend Smile Hair Clinic. You want to actually do your research, and Smile Hair Clinic is a good example of a clinic in Turkey which actually does a fantastic job, and I highly recommend them. Take care of yourself, and I hope that you get all the results that you possibly could dream for, and I'm sure you will. Take care.